All right. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know it's been a couple of days. Apologies, but life be life and getting ready for convention season and getting tending to the grandchildren and all the things. And unfortunately, this is why we're here on a Friday as opposed to midweek. But welcome, I am Dr. Soloperi. I am the director and founder of Ka-Pow, the Comic Art Academy, the real art school for real people with real lives, taught by real industry pros. And welcome to Sketch and Chill. And tonight we are going to be diving into Winter Soldier. I don't know if anybody's out there. If you guys have seen Thunderbolts, let's have a Thunderbolts conversation. Let's see what we have to say about Thunderbolts. I think it should be an interesting conversation. I saw it last Sunday. And if you haven't seen it, well, you just might have to endure some spoilers. But at this juncture, I don't know if there's anything that's not that has not been said about Thunderbolts. And so we're going to get into drawing. Let me go ahead and make sure that everything is in place. All right. And let's go ahead and boom, there we go. All right. And so I already have the sketch prepared. I had this done a few days ago, actually, and I've just been piddling with it. The total sketch took probably about 45 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, using reference, of course, of what we know of the character. And welcome to another edition of Solo Has Never Drawn Before. We've never drawn Winter Soldier. But again, I was telling one of my buddies, you can make a list of and have no shortage of topics of things that I have not drawn. So just let me know if you guys are picking me up okay. Last time I did this, I was on the wrong mic. So I unplugged. I have mics and cameras everywhere in my studio. And sometimes I get a little bit of mic confusion. So hopefully you guys are picking me up okay. And we're going to go ahead and get to some inking. I'm going to dive right in. Not going to prolong the inevitable. And so, yeah. I think I'm not going to make that one scene. I kind of like the idea of the seams being segmented on the outline, but that can be like really tedious. And I literally have like a 2-hour max here, which is why I come in with a sketch mostly ready, because I'm an anal inker. I don't know if that's an official term, but if it is, I'm that. I'm definitely that. If you have any questions, feel free to sound off. Questions about my process, why I did certain things the way that I did. We'll do all of that. I'm not completely happy with the face, if I'm being completely honest. We're going to have to see if we can do a little bit of surgery. A little bit of surgery. Happy Friday, everyone. I don't expect many people to show up here on a Friday, but I wanted to get this out the way so I can go ahead and get the habit of streaming regularly. And if you're watching, please let me know where you're watching from. We are streaming on Twitch and Facebook and YouTube all at the same time. So I see little eyeballs pop in and out, people peeking in. I know some people like to get to a certain level of completion before they chime in. What a dude is doing. I'm using a Prisma Micron, a Pigma Micron. I said Prisma, Pigma Micron. This is a little bit thinner than what I would start off with. We're going to go ahead and beef up the outline a little later, but I want to get these initial lines down. Turn my head around so you guys can see. Don't want anything interfering with the camera. We may have a little bit of delay. Hopefully you guys had to start and restart my computer because my computer is trying to die on me. So we're at that crucial stage of my computer being on hospice. I'm going to go ahead and get into something a little bit thicker at this point. I think I'm just going to go ahead and use pigments for this entire process today. I might use a couple of these Fudes, depending on if I'm happy with the line that they give me. This is a little bit of a smaller piece. The pigments, as far as the dimensions of the character, size matters. So we'll go up to a size 2 and see if that gives us the width we desire for this outline. We're going to go and get this done and on to the next. Yeah, that one's almost dry, so that one's not doing too great. That one's almost dry. I had some 03s over here. Here it is. Still don't throw them out, just FYI. If they start to dry out on you, keep them because you may get some really interesting effects. Use them until they are bone dry. This is what we teach our students. This is what I teach my students at Ka-Pow. Use them until they are bone dry. If you can get away with it. But sometimes those bad fellows will get you just the texture or the line that you want, even though they're not ideal. Again, not too happy with the face. But we'll see if I can add a little bit of personality to this. Domino mask. It's the mouth that I'm not that happy with, but we'll just leave it until I find something that I can put a little highlight there. A little highlight there. We can go ahead and frame the eyes so they pop. That's going to be there. It turned out better. It looked worse than pencil. We'll keep that where it is. A little cheek highlight. I gotta get another computer because I really want my music. I know if I play music on this thing now, even though it's paid for the subscription for licensing. I know it's going to probably get a copyright like it always does. And number two, I know that my computer's going to slow down. My processors are fried. I spent the entire day yesterday removing and deleting excessive files. Just to get it to operate. Go ahead and put the hilt there. Put a little shadow there and show that his hand is pressed up against it. Whenever possible, you always want to try to allude to some type of volume in forms. I'm going to go ahead and start inking the inside of this because this is a Prismacolor coal erase. And like typical graphite, they will start to migrate. They won't hold. So as my hand starts shifting around this paper, I run the risk of it, go ahead and put a little shadow there to kind of separate the line weight. And I want it to kind of go up. I want it to kind of segment it so that the mechanics look intentional and mechanical at the same time. It's always so hard for me to get on here and start streaming, but we're going to make this a thing. Got a YouTube channel, might as well use it, right? So we're going to go ahead and put that. See how I'm interlacing everything? My other YouTube channel, one of my devoted supporters, Mercy, this is her favorite character. I might surprise her with it. She's been such a supporter of my studio and the properties, and she's in art school now at another school down in Florida, learning 3D animation, something we do not teach. She made it quite clear that if we taught it, she'd be going to Ka-Pow. I'm like, nope, go do what you're passionate about. But she loves Winter Soldier. I think she's done several streams of Winter Soldier already before the movies were ever even announced. Go and get that star in there. Nice bold outline. Make sure the points are balanced. It's amazing that sometimes the simplest, most familiar shapes can be the trickiest to really nail down. And now from what I noticed in the comics, that star's got to have a really bold outline because there's red in the middle. So it's almost like a really hyper bold, thick black line. It's a monoline. It's not a whole lot of line weight to it. So what I'm doing right now is removing the line weight from it, evening it out. All the time, I'm being very, very aware of the temperament of this Canson paper. Not my favorite. I might try on the next one. Using their marker paper. I bought some just to see what it would do. A lot of artists live by it. Again, you find things, every artist has their own taste. I tell all the students and all the people I meet at cons, experiment. This is one of those passions that if you're not willing to invest, knowing that a lot of things you may purchase, you may not use, then this is not, the hobby, craft, passion, pursuit for you. Even this one's starting to get a little dry. I'm going to have to grab me another 03. I've got a whole box of them over there somewhere. Yeah, this thing is almost dry. Let me grab another one. Open up the box. Crack it open. Boop. There we go. It's nice and juicy. Also, I got to start. We're going to start drawing on my other YouTube channel for the kids, Ka-Pow Kids Zone, with my granddaughter. Probably granddaughter's plural, because another one picked up the pencil and she's like really, really good. Her younger sister. I was like, wow. I may have some people that like pass on the passion to, because it was looking bleak for my own kids. They may be the grandkids. Again, this is a style choice. I like thicker outlines. I use line weight differently. I used to do the varied line weight based on curves and planes to allude to depth. That was the traditional way until I said I really want to lean into the Lynn Claire style with a clean monoline to kind of, because I really loved when I was in animation, I liked open lines with not a whole lot of variance. I like the cleanliness of it. You guys probably heard me say that before. And see how I'm keeping the internal lines a little thinner, but with a nice bold dark outline. You've seen that style on the Tomorrowverse, the DC Tomorrowverse, I think it was, with the Crisis and the Green Lantern movie. All those movies are bad, but stylistically, it was pretty to look at, in my opinion. I hear my people coming in. I don't know if that's my wife or my daughter with my granddaughters, but everyone's getting home. I hear people walking and talking on the telephone, on cell phones. And normally I would probably use a French curve on this, but we're just going to draw through it. freehand it and build it out a little bit, because this outer edge being consistent with the other outer edges. Remember, always draw through your forms. If you follow this line, this handle goes all the way through from the blade. I didn't pick it up. I kept it all the way through. As soon as I get the outlines done, I'm going to go in and probably do the rest with some brush work to fill in those, and some Sharpies to kind of fill them in quickly. No, typically he has the shirt is kind of like form-fitting, almost like spandex. I wanted to make it a little more, you know, practical. Put a little shadow right there. Add some depth to the nose. There we go. Add some volume to the... See if I can get how fast I can get through this without totally screwing it up. Even though it's not about speed, this is more about relaxation. Because I do find this very, very relaxing. That's going to be all in shadow anyway. Push that leg back into the background. Just blocking in shapes, set for details, randomness. All right, we're making pretty good time. And go ahead and lay down some of these reflections. Go ahead. All right. Then I'll go behind that and just add in a little detail. Just go ahead and draw it straight through on this one. Again, this paper is very absorbent, so I'm not getting the clean lines that I want. But it'll be enough. It'll be good enough. Then I'll go behind it and white out and make the segments nice and clean. I know most of his stuff is black, heavy dark shadows in his uniform. So always got to keep the values in mind so that it reads as black and not as this is where it pays to be courageous. You got to be courageous because undoing this stuff, good luck with it. But just kind of remember how fold should work. And not having too many halos, but keeping shapes clear. And things separated so the eye knows where to focus. Start blocking in these huge areas here. This is where we kind of relax a little bit. Kind of, not fully. You never fully relax when you're inking. You can relax when you're penciling. Inking, for me, is a little bit, I feel the anxiety tick up a couple of notches, if I'm being completely honest. Because of the permanence of it. Again, only when you're doing it traditionally, though. Digitally, no anxiety whatsoever because everything can be Control-Z'd. And this is me practicing right now, so like me that wants to hurry and get it done wants to go ahead and use a micron to, or a Sharpie, something that offers me a lot more control. But I always said, I've been saying I wanted to really get my brush work up. So just focusing on relaxing, controlling my breathing. There will be a shadow there. This will kind of get lost up in that a little bit. There we go. Clean up that buckle. You don't also make sure that you don't over halo. It's okay for certain things to get lost in the black. I'm just trying not to make the same mistake I made last week. That I was forced to clean up on the Century. But then you also want to give them a little bit of muscular detail here. Kind of show that muscles happening underneath. It's not too baggy. That's the superhero part. The muscles kind of bulge out of everything. It's kind of like this weird hybrid between spandex and loose-fitting combat gear. Got to keep the superhero part intact. Okay. Because the fabric and stuff is black, it's going to cast a lot of, could be a lot of deep dark shadows. Early on, I used to be so terrified of using black again because of its permanence. Now, you know, many moons later, okay. Go ahead and eat this stuff here. And even these brushes, the Spintel color brush you see me using, don't toss them. You can refill these. You can buy refills for these, or you can fill them with something else. I saw a guy on another platform. Again, and don't be afraid to watch other artists, man, and ask questions. I'm still that guy. I'm not pretentious because I've done a couple of things. I'm always trying to learn. And so this dude, he does these things in acrylics. I guess he used to work for Lucas. And he was streaming. And he kept saying acrylics, but he was using this. Or, you know, probably with larger tip. And I'm like, dude, what? And he's like, oh, no. He says, I keep these and I fill them up. So he actually fills them up with acrylic paint and still keeps these. He said that, you know, it clogs and then he has to work with the tip. There's a pro and con for you know, not using a tool in its ideal way, but he liked the control that the tip gave him compared to some of the acrylic brushes that he uses. I just thought that was so cool. I don't do a lot of acrylic. I do it occasionally, but still, something today I learned. Everybody's out there, if you want to join in the conversation, I'll just sit here and talk to myself. The next stream, I'm going to try to have some music going to see if my computer freezes. I was going to risk it. Because of this is fabulous. Needs an undershadow. Remember your lighting. Remember your pressure points, especially with fabric. Your stress and your release points, your gravity points. Remember what things are made of, so you don't have things looking weird. Like things should be firm. You don't want to render them as if they're loose, and things that are loose, you do not want to render them as if they are solid. This is me flirting with the devil right here. With these fine details with this tip, knowing that this brush is still really juicy, and it might get some spread as a result, but we'll see. See, I'm using this as a pinch point right here behind the legs where the fabric kind of bunches. And under here, underneath this knee guard. This knee guard here. Hold off on that. Now, from what I understand, this is just like his other arm is not cybernetic. It's just a regular arm. I'm going to render it with a little bit of, it's like spandex from what I've seen, form fitting, but still black. Looks a little weird right there. Let me go ahead and fill that in. There we go. Fill that in. Fill that in. I'll live with that. Yeah, I'll live with that. Do a little muscle illusion there. Okay. Push this back into the background. So this would be a heavy shadow. let's go ahead and stop playing with this. And let's go in there with something a little bit more motor control now. I think I've leveled up enough for today with my brush practice. Not trying to completely embarrass myself. I know some dudes that just do stuff with this brush. It's just like, ooh, I got to get better. And for no other reason, again, skill acquisition, skill stacking. No one says you have to use these tools. I just love the challenge of overcoming limitations. I think as an artist, that's something we should all constantly strive for, not just get so comfortable in the way we do things because it's the easiest way for us. That's great for like production and when you have deadlines and things like that, or commissions. But when you're just doing stuff like I'm doing here just for the sake of, you know, getting some strokes in for the day, it's okay to experiment a little bit, push yourself. As I told you all before, I'm not a big hatching person, cross-hatching person. I'll hatch, but not really big into cross-hatching. That needs to be darker. This is a gun here. So let me go ahead and make it, give the illusion that this is really a gun. You ain't got to draw every little detail. The brain will pick it up as long as you know how it's supposed to look basically. And after umpteen years of law enforcement, if I can't fool y'all into thinking there's a gun in that holster or something's wrong. And a few highlights show in, not a whole lot of details. You know. What kind of gun? Use your imagination. What kind of pistola? I'll leave that for you to decide, for your brain to decide. Here we go. Couple of seams here. Get those barrels colored in. And you gotta do everything just enough. The brain wants to simplify information. You just have to have the basic forms down, and your brain will do the rest of the work for you. Cleaning up some of these brush strokes because I don't like how wobbly they are. Now I'm going to go ahead and start adding I'll segment it further with some white opaque. Go ahead and make a couldn't get this control with the brush. I can't. I know some people who can though. And I'm gonna get there one day. But right now, I don't know. I don't know if they could with this paper. Quite honestly, the paper bleeds a lot. The spread is ridiculous. few segments here. Boom, 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 boom. I'm not going for the Wakandan arm. I'd have to paint this black and then I have to go ahead and make everything white. The highlights have to work in reverse, so we're just gonna keep it with the traditional whatever it was, metal. I don't think it was ever like any type of like vibranium or anything until the movie, until Black Panther. Still drawing through, making sure that my segments will complete in the right order. Okay. It's not a bad bucky arm. I think that glove has a window on it. And we can go ahead and, again, illusion, as if that's cybernetics. Continue down past the glove. Glove is black from what I understand, so we will shade it as if it's black. Some carefully added shadows so it doesn't look blobby, but it reads properly. One of the biggest things you can learn when in your drawings is just to make sure everything is legible. That's what we're really big on teaching our students, is that make sure everything is readable. Even if it subtly defies physics, you want clarity in your images. A lot of artists today rely so much on color that they don't really know how to properly do a whole lot without color. My mentor, who's, again, if you want to check it out, you can see sit down with him. Yeah, like that. Here on this channel. Clarity in line work. You shouldn't need color to make your images work. You shouldn't need it. It should enhance it, but it should not be a necessity. I still subscribe to that. People are like, oh, well, we use digital now. Yes, digital is great. It is great. I use digital as well. You guys are going to see me do some digital stuff here as well. But when I'm really trying to push myself artistically and up my skills, which never changes, that never goes away, that should never go away. It's traditional media. Gotta make it work. How y'all doing? You guys are watching? Let me know that you're watching. If you're there, I'll give you a shout out. Announce yourselves. If not, I'll just keep drawing and talking to myself. It's all good. Because I talk to myself when there is no one to talk to. He has this weird chest strap thing that also goes over his shoulder. If you guys are digging what you're seeing, let me know. Like, follow, subscribe, wherever you're watching from. Love to have you. It's part of the Ka-Pow family, the extended Ka-Pow family. I don't know why I added this rifle, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. Just a little bit over an hour. Okay, I'm making good time. I'll get this form done in an hour. We'll get through this in an hour. Yeah, gotta be sure to texture this like it's texture. Make this legible, so I want this stuff to kind of go. This goes over the shoulder. It should disappear, so it should be a little thicker there. There we go. Boom. Sometimes you got to talk your way through it too. Remember where things overlay, how things intersect. You can get lost in an image really easily. Really easily. Get back to coloring this bad fella. Inking it. Well, that didn't work out, so we're going to go ahead and make all of that black. Outline. Let your eye do the rest. Let your eyes do the rest. I'm just making forms and shapes that your brain will accept. Again, a basic knowledge of anatomy, a little bit more than a basic knowledge of anatomy is kind of necessary to kind of sell it. I won't, one thing I'll never do here is give you guys a bunch of hyperbole and undersell what it takes to execute certain things. I'll buy that as a fist. Okay, little clasps here, a little thicker line here. Show a little how it interacts with the chest. Thicker around the shadow. He wears a lot. He wears a lot of black. This is and if I planned on coloring it, I probably would leave a lot more open. I'll leave this leg open so it pulls it forward. Finish inking this because this leg is all the way further in the background. I don't need all these lines to be neat. We just want, light moves and bounces around, so we kind of want some light to catch, but not to heal. Okay. I want to put a poll up to see who I draw next. We're still in the Thunderbolts kick. I want to get at least 3 Thunderbolts characters, either from the movie or from. I wish some people were here to talk Thunderbolts, though. I really want to hear what you guys thought of it. Those people, anybody who saw it. But no such luck. Okay. Apple Watch is telling me to take a moment and stand because I've been sitting all day working on things for our next con that we're going to be at. A little bit of hatching is warranted for this guy, I guess. Cross hatching. Probably should use a thinner tip though, but we'll make it work. I don't feel like bouncing around a lot tonight. And this is just following the contour of the chest right here, of the pecs. Such a character. Could I have picked a harder pose? Sometimes the most static poses are difficult because you can't hide behind foreshortening, and it's a thing. I can always tell. Like, they look dynamic, but they're easier. It's funny. What a lot of people don't realize is a lot of times the easiest thing to draw, they usually are the most dynamic because you're allowed to eliminate certain parts of the anatomy with foreshortening. It looks cooler, but believe it or not, it's a lot easier to draw. You'll see a lot of cons. I'll do it too. I'm not above it. A little depth to that hilt right there. A little bit of hook. There's a little flare, like a hand guard. Don't know if it makes sense, but I think it looks cool. I'm going to add some shadow here. Little rim light. Okay. I want to make sure also your folds are a little random. You don't want them too consistent. Put that shadow, right, hard shadow underneath there. There we go. This knee joint right here. This knee guard. Happy Friday, anyone who's watching. Happy Friday. Mother's Day is upon us. Well, we appreciate the women that give life and protect it and nurture it. I lost my mom a few years ago, but I have a beautiful wife who's an incredible mother, and if you have a mother in your life, love on her. I know they can be hard on Mother's Day. That is the common theme. It's hard sometimes for mom on Mother's Day because we never know quite what to get. I know that's the curse in my family. When my mom was around, it was like, whoa, we dreaded Mother's Day. We dreaded it. For no other reason, it's like, how do you get the woman who has everything? And my mom literally had everything, but now she's gone. Wish she was here so I could have that stress once again. Wish she was here. I would give anything to feel that pressure of what to do for my mom, It was like an annual event. Me and my siblings getting together on calls to find out, okay, what's this year gonna look like? What we doing? Now, my queen is no longer here, but I got another queen, my wife, who's been a phenomenal mother. Phenomenal. Phenomenal mother. I thank God for her. It was a lot of black. It's a lot of black people. Make that foot fit in perspective. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? How y'all doing tonight? I don't know who you are. Sound off. Let me know you're there. Holler at your boy. I don't bite. If you want to just lurk in the shadows, feel free. But I'm considered by most to be occasionally friendly. Kind of lost that there. That tip. See? Knew I shouldn't play with the devil. Got me. Got me. I think my daughter's doing my wife's hair. I hear them laughing. That's usually a good sign. That means they don't leave me alone. Contour of the foot of the arch. Boom. Not bad. I'll walk with that. I'll do that one. I'll settle there. A little. Okay. Again, black. Gotta read his black. He's covert ops. It's easy for you when using this much black for things that get kind of muddied and lose definition. That's where, again, clarity, kind of knowing where to spot them is so crucial. Okay. Ooh, buddy. Quick stretch. Oh my gosh. Been at sitting down all day. All day. All day. So, stretch is warranted. I think we're good there. Get to that arm a little bit. Good thing is that this ink dries very fast, so I don't mind moving my hand across the paper because of the paper. The paper is so absorbent that the ink just kind of like a sponge. It gives you that bleed, but try to find the positive, right? Let me do this before I forget right now. This one's done. I still am on the fence with these jelly rolls, to be quite honest. Let me go ahead and get my other joint. I'm on the fence with these jelly rolls. They never seem to give me the line that I want when I want it. Just going to bring in these little highlights here. I'm going to save for last, but I'm impatient. I like to see things at various stages of completion. So I know that I'm trending. Every artist has a difference. Some people wait for the very end. I do not. I largely do not. I'm impatient. In some ways, I'm that kid who would have eaten the marshmallow in that experiment. But in other ways, I'm not. When it comes to business and stuff, I'm very patient and reaching a goal. But when it comes to art, I kind of like, I want to see it. I gotta see it. Build out my outline. Again, I told you I like the heavy outline, makes it pop to me. Not necessary. Causes a little bit more, creates a little bit more work, but I got time. 2 hours, like what can I get in 2 hours with you guys? And it's also going to force me to be faster and more decisive. These live streams, which I'm excited about because I'm working on some books and some titles for my studio and some new concepts. So decisiveness is always a good thing. We're going to be adding the chill part here real soon, the solo sketch and chill. It's supposed to be music, but again, if you're just joining me, my computer, it won't let me. Too old. Hopefully I'll get replaced very soon. I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Michael Regina. Great guy. Somebody I'm happy to have in my circle. And that's what I love about the Art to Art podcast that we do here. I started off obviously with people that I knew, but then I started reaching out to people I didn't know, and some friendships have been formed. And so, at least the beginnings of some friendships have been formed. I should have done this in an animated style. It would have been a lot easier. Sometimes I'm going to switch on you guys. It won't be all comic book style. I play with different aesthetics and approaches. My favorite, believe it or not, is animated style, but I'll do some anime for you anime fans out there. And this is my comic book approach is more rendered. It's called the iconic style for you guys. Typical comic style is called iconic. Easy to remember. Because we're creating icons of people. And with that, you have, your substyles like naturalism, realism. Some people merge the two, whatever floats your boat. I do a more iconic style with a slant towards an animated approach using simpler geometric shapes. Okay. I'm not going to overwork him. Heavier shadows here. I'm not really happy with that star, to be quite honest. Not that happy with it, but telling you, man, it's the simple stuff that gets you. I'm not going to overwork it because I know if I do, I'm going to mess it up even more. Should have been contoured along the shoulder line a little bit more, to be quite honest, but hey. This ain't fine art and chill, this is sketch and chill, so perfection is not the goal. Perfection is not the goal. All right. I'm going to frame the face a little bit. So maybe put some shadows aside of his hair. His hair is dark brown. I'm not going to color it solid, but I'm also going to keep in mind that it's of a darker value. probably going to switch to a smaller. Go back to that number 1. Go a couple sizes down here so I can get this finer detail in. I like to think of hair in masses, forms. Darker hair is a little harder to render. You don't want to, again, put too much in too many places, but you have enough darkness to lend itself that this is the value that you're trying to communicate. Got to get out of that collar. Under the collar. I like how they kept his Bucky collar, his collared shirt from his original incarnation. Okay. Anybody have any questions, any comments? I'm an open book. If anybody's watching. I'm gonna really like freestyle this rifle because I'm being lazy. Just FYI, I'm being lazy. So we're gonna see how good your boy's freehand is. I know a lot of young artists will be tempted to halo everything. I try to tell them, no, just go with black. Trust me, your brain will separate the forms. Because I used to over halo. Halos are good for separation and clarity, but I used to over halo, to be quite honest. And halo is just that negative space used to separate forms. I'm like, no, just go ahead and use it. Go ahead and go in there, lean in. Don't be afraid. Hair should flow but also look in mass. It should be a mass. I'm a fan of more geometric shapes, if you guys can't tell. I just like it stylistically for my own stuff. You'll find what works with you as you really angle towards your own artistic sensibilities. That outer line gets that outer line treatment that I was talking about. The entire outline gets to make it look cohesive. Okay. Good evening, whoever you are, wherever you're watching from. Welcome. I'm Doc Solo, the Director of Ka-Pow, the Comic Art Academy. And we are taking applications for our adult classes, and we're about to relaunch Panels and Gutters in a new format for people who rather do course style as opposed to the full school experience that we offer. And we're launching our Prep Academy for the little ones. We've got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline this year at Ka-Pow. I'll be drawing from our app. If you guys are interested in our app, we do have an app, a prompt app. The whole 9 yards. We're doing things, man. I want to bring you guys the most affordable art educational experience that you can find anywhere. That is our claim. And that is our mission. Okay. Refinement here. Hey, something's happening. What's going on? Again. Winter Soldier. Trying to do the thing. Again. What's my grandbabies doing? My grandbabies. I think I'm going to add this shadow here. Just not avoid it because it looks forced. Yeah, I'd rather just do that. A little contact shadow here, showing that's where the little pouch is. There we go. That looks less forced. What's going on, John? You must be on Twitch. Yeah. Playing Marvel Rivals. Something about that I don't like, but we'll make it work for now. I just kind of like it. There we go. I think I like that better. Yeah. Yeah, I like that better. All right. I'm going to get a couple of straight edges. So I can go ahead and make this muzzle. We got the magazine here. That goes right there. Have them kind of holding the. Not completely happy with this hand, but it's doable. It looks like does look like he's holding it. The biggest thing with fingers that I see a lot of artists mess up is the lack of interactivity. So like if you can't tell, I drew through this hilt, so the hand kind of goes here, there, boom, boom, and I have a thumb that should be appearing right there. And so I take this, just enough of a thumb. There we go. I'm gonna finish coloring this in right here. Always telling aspiring artists, draw through. Don't stop, draw through. Make sure the forms are solid. Make sure there's continuity. Things exist in 3 dimensions. Even though we're drawing in 2, we have to give the illusion of 3 dimensions. Showing interactions and things like that. And depth. Interactions and depth are crucial. Okay, I got 13 minutes. I think I'll be able to finish it. I think we'll get it done. Clarity. See, mass. The hair is a mass. It's not just a mess, it's a mass. Alright, let's get these last few minutes in. I'm not going to do that little star thing if y'all can see it behind them. We don't need that. We really don't. We really don't. So we're going to get this muzzle in here. Boom. See, that's the thing about that absorbent paper. As soon as you put that tool down, you're going to get that, sometimes you're going to get that little hot spot where it just kind of pulls for a split second. So it's best to kind of put your pen down in motion. I'm going inside of here a little bit. I'm going in between, right there. Make sure I'm between those two lines that I started with to show kind of like a silencer. Not perfect, but it'll do. It'll do. And it's curving, contoured upwards, so we'll do that. I can probably fudge this a little bit with my thick outline. Okay. Bucky should have been Captain America. I'm just putting that out there, not Sam Wilson. We should have Bucky as Captain America. Falcon Cap never works. It didn't work for me in the comics. It doesn't work for me in the movies. Yeah, I said it. I don't know if you guys saw the Thunderbolts movie, but me and my son Jordan, we were talking about it. They need a powerhouse, somebody that the Sentry could actually like punch, that could virtually take it. And they should have had the Abomination. We kind of agreed at the Abomination because he's not being used. He's been semi-reformed, and the Abomination could have been in this movie. I know you can't do the Red Hulk because you just did him and didn't do him with much success. You know, but you could have done the Abomination. Could have done the abomination. The team was just so one note as far as power sets. It's just too one note. You had redundancies that were tactically put them at a disadvantage. I know it's supposed to be this random thing, but yeah, did not fly. Did not read well. Basically got the same person over and over again. Super soldier, super soldier, super soldier. Like cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger. Super soldier, super soldier, super soldier. I'm just going to make this thicker and make that the highlight down the middle of the barrel. That's what I'll do. Make that thicker, like that. Then just a little bit thicker. That's how you fix a few inadequacies. There you go. Yep. And make this thick. Go ahead and make that thick. I'm not trying to freehand a straight line. But I ain't got them kind of skills. I can get pretty close. But nah, not necessary for this. No, not necessary to try to flex in front because we're almost done. We're at our 2-hour mark. Taking my cue from David Finch. 2 hours. Then I'm going to finish and go watch the NBA playoffs. Because the NBA sucked, but the playoffs have been good for some reason. I don't know what orders came down from on high. But I'm glad for it. Because the NBA been sucking. Darn it. That's not good. See, that's a smear. But it's not embedded enough, so it's only surface. So I should be able to get rid of it. Yeah. There we go. Cool. And guess what, y'all? The gloves are black. So in the gloves, I'm going to just do some spots here. Some spot blacks to kind of show a little bit of a seam as if they're gloves. Again, your brain will figure out the rest. One thing you guys are going to learn here as we grow this channel, again, is what do I need to get the effect that I want without all the extra. A couple of well placed shadows. Positive, negative spaces are huge with this. Boom. And this thumb here will be here, but also has a seam because it's going to catch a little bit of shadow from the gun. Now we're going to finesse. Now we're going to finesse. We're going to act like this is a real gun, and hopefully my knowledge does not fail me in this, because I don't feel like referencing. I do not feel like referencing. So by adding enough shadows and shapes, we should be able to arrive at a conclusion of an illusion. The conclusion of an illusion. Make sure that's parallel. See how much of this freestyle can I do to make this kind of look. There you go. I'm gonna take a bigger Sharpie to kind of fill in these blacks here. Are you buying it? I think you're buying it. I'm buying it. Okay. Is that reading like a rifle that has not been completely referenced? I'm trying to. I got one upstairs. I can grab if I needed to, but I'm not trying to do all that. It ain't gotta be real. Just gotta look real. Hope you guys are enjoying what you're seeing so far. And check us out if you want to learn from the pros and my team of incredible industry artists that just happened to also be instructors. Visit us at teachusedraw.com. Link will be in the bio. It is a 2-interview process. I'm going to be doing a video here soon on revealing the most asked about question of Ka-Pow that most people don't get until they didn't used to get until they interviewed. Now we're just kind of rolling it all together because we've been getting so many interviews that it's time to just go ahead and make the tuition public. So you can see we are the most affordable and comprehensive option that you will undoubtedly find anywhere for what we teach, how we teach it, and the amount of time and energy that we invest in your learning along with you. Because we want you to bring your storytelling dreams to life. We really do. This is me starting to check out. See, I'm rushing. But hopefully it's still, again, that word that said readable. It got to be perfect. It's got to be legible. And that's something that we do in the industry is, you know, when guys have a bunch of deadlines and multiple projects, they just want to make sure that things are landing with you and are well communicated visually. It's visual communication is all it is. No mysteries. It is an art. It is a craft. It's more of a craft than an art. I'll be doing a video explaining the difference as well. All right. I think that's what we have. That's what we're going to go with for tonight. Bucky, the Winter Soldier. I forgot to add the texture of his cross straps here. A little weight there. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this. That is Bucky. Let me go ahead and clean up some of these, some of that underdrawing for you. Taking my trusted kneaded eraser. All right. I did not record the sketch of this. I did not. Faux pas on my part. But if you guys are interested in like the full process, I may make it a Patreon thing for those of you who just want to support the channel and the efforts of Ka-Pow. You know, some people just want to support. Some people just don't even want to enroll. They just want to support. And so I'll make that option available as well and give you all some behind the scenes access with commentary, of course. All right, there's Bucky. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and let me know in the comments who you would like to see done next. We're gonna do some more Thunderbolt stuff until I get somebody in here to tell me what they think about the movie. But I have an entire menu of things that I want to draw just for the fun of it here, that you guys will enjoy. And I'll be sharing some books, some book walkthroughs as requested in the last video, last live stream. I have a ton of books in my library, and someone's like, we want to see what you study. And I'm like, say less. Say less. We can do that. We can do all of that. I've got to put a clamp down here. There we go. A little clasp on the belt, on the buckle there. All right, cool. All right, and so on that note, I'm out your hair, I'm out your life, and hope you guys have enjoyed this live stream of solo sketch and chill with the Winter Soldier. And we're gonna go ahead and put our Hancock on it, because it ain't done until they know who did it. All right. There we go. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this time. And if you're watching the replay, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And good night. I'm out of here. I did it. I think I did it. I think we did 2 hours. All right. God bless. See you guys later. Solo out.